Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Unparalleled Universe for another action figure review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Mezco 112 Collective San Diego Comic-Con 2018 exclusive Batman Beyond. And here's a quick look at the packaging. It's the same smaller packaging that we've come to expect from Mezco exclusive figures. On the front, it's just pretty much all black with the Batman Beyond logo in the center, and then you have the Batman Beyond bat logo in the background of that. And then on the side, you have a Batman Beyond logo. And then on the back, you get some Bruce Timm inspired Batman Beyond artwork. And I think that looks really nice. And as I've said in the past, I'm a big fan of this style of packaging. It's collector friendly and it's small and easy to store. So let's look at the figure. And here he is right out of the packaging. And my first impression of this figure is that he's really awesome. They did a really nice job on the look and the general design. There's a few things that I'm a little worried about, like these arm blades. I'm kind of afraid that they might snap one of these days. They're really rigid. They aren't really very bendy at all. You can see that these are pretty bendy, so you don't have too much to worry about. But right when I took them out of the packaging, I was really afraid of these things. But let's get into it here with the articulation. So his head is able to move side to side. He could kind of move all the way around. It's got some nice range of motion. And he also has a little bit of movement at the neck, but not much. And I kind of don't want to do too much movement at the neck because I don't want to mess up the cloth that's kind of tucked in there. But just the head itself gets a pretty nice amount of movement. So you got some tilt, you got some side to side. Could kind of get him to look up to right there. I wish I could get him to look up a little bit more, but again, I don't want to force it at the neck area. Then he could look down a pretty nice amount. And then for the torso, he's got some side to side. He's got the mid torso joint and he does have the waist joint. So using both of those, you could kind of get him to move to the side, tilt to the side. Some nice twists going on. Let's see how the crunch is here. So for the ab crunches forward to about there. So not a horrible amount, but it's nothing crazy impressive. But I think it's okay for Batman Beyond here. Could get it to go to the side to about there. The torso joints are really tight. And then let's see how far back he could go. Could go back to about there. So the torso is pretty nice. And then for his arm, he does have that slight butterfly type of joint there at the shoulder. And then he has ball jointed shoulders. Let's see how far we could get his arm to go up. His arm could only go up to about there. Don't want to force it much further than that. Could go back to about there. So it's a pretty good amount there in the arm joint. The cloth doesn't hinder it too much. Obviously, I don't think you're going to be able to get his hands like straight up over his head. You might have to mess with it a little bit to do something like that. But that's probably about as good as it's going to get. And then you could bring his arms out to the side. And then you have the upper bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, swivel at the wrist, and a hinge at the wrist. And then for his legs, you can't really get him to do the splits. I mean, the joints would be able to, but the cloth definitely restricts you. That's about as far as you're going to go. And then at that point, I kind of get nervous about if I'm going to rip something here. But just bringing one leg up, you could get it to come up to the side a pretty nice amount. You could get it to move forward a really nice amount. And then back only to about there. And then you have the upper thigh swivel, double jointed knees, and then at the foot there's no lower boot swivel or anything, but then there's a swivel at the foot, and his ankles are actually really nice. I'm glad to see they keep improving things there. And then you could get him to come up to about there, come down to there. So nice movement at the feet there. But yeah, I think all the articulation is really nice on Batman. The only thing is, when I'm handling it and messing with it, I'm just afraid of these things. So that's the only thing that kind of makes me worried when I'm trying to pose this figure. But I think as far as articulation goes, he could pretty much do anything you'd like him to do. And for his accessories, he comes with a set of fists, a pair of open clawed hands, and then a set of gripping hands. Then he comes with 3 batarangs. He comes with the wings that clip onto his back. And then he comes with these blast effects for the bottom of his feet. He comes with 2 different heads, one with the mouth closed and one with the mouth open. And then he comes with the traditional Mezco stand, and I've said in the past that I'm not a huge fan of these things, they're too big, but I am thankful to have it here for Batman Beyond because it's going to be cool to be able to pose him in flight poses, as you could see here. So in this case, the stand is very useful, and I'm pretty sure that I'll be using it. And it's not like the Mezco stands are bad or anything, they're functional and they look good. It's just they're too big, so not too many of them could fit on the shelf. It kind of gets crowded pretty quick if you're using the stands, but like I said, I will be using it for Batman Beyond, so I'm happy to have the stand here. And these batarangs are really nice. They did a really good job sculpting it, and you can see all the details in there. The center is just matte black, and then you have the red on the outside that matches the red on the figure itself. And as I mentioned before, there's 3 of these that come with the figure. And then you have the 2 blast effects, and both of these look nice. They're exactly the same, but they're like a translucent orange type of color, and they plug right into the bottom of his feet. And they stay in there pretty nice and snug. And then you have the wing piece, and this is sculpted really nice. The only thing is, it's pretty similar to the blades on the arms. The plastic is kind of rigid, and I'm afraid that it might snap, so got to be very careful with that. But the sculpting work on this is really good. I like how it has this techno type of look on the back. You've got some like wires and things going through there, or not wires exactly, but it has like a futuristic technological look, so I do like that a lot. And the way this thing goes on is Batman Beyond has this little pack on the back that you have to take off. You got to be kind of careful with it, obviously. And the figure itself comes with instructions about this, but all you do is pull this piece off, and then you got a hole back there, and then you could plug the wings right in, and then they stay on there. You don't have to worry about them falling off or anything. And I do like the way that was done, rather than just plugging into the outside of this or something like that. So I think that was a really nice way for them to do that. And now, of course, here we have some size comparisons. So here he is next to the Dark Knight Returns Mezco Batman and the Nightmare Mezco Batman. And you could see that he's a little bit shorter than both of them, and I think that works good. And then we have the Mezco Flash and the Mezco Deluxe Joker. And again, he's about the same size as Flash, but shorter than Joker, so that's good. And then now we have the Mezco PX exclusive Spider-Man and the Mezco Deathstroke. And then now here we have 2 of my favorite Marvel Legends figures, the new Tiger Stripe Wolverine and the Deadpool from the Sasquatch Build-A-Figure wave. And then now here we have him with the DC Icons Green Lantern and the NECA movie Leonardo. And as for the details on the figure itself, I really like what they did with it. I like that they didn't go just the plain black route like we've seen with some other Batman Beyond figures. And how I really remember him from the cartoon actually is just plain black with the red logo. But I like what they did with all this, like, all this pattern to kind of make it look like it's more technologically advanced. And even on the head, you could see all kinds of lines and things like that. It kind of makes it look more armored. And I really love that. I think that looks very good. And also, it's going to eliminate the complaints that it looks like a guy in pajamas, because if it was just all cloth, which I would have been okay with, but if it was all cloth, I'm sure there would have been a lot of people out there complaining that it was just a guy in pajamas. But I love what they did here. It looks super cool. And it also does a good job at hiding the stitching, because with all this like pattern and stuff, it's a little bit difficult to see where it's stitched. It's stitched in the same area as all the other Mezco figures, so I know where it's at, but it's pretty well hidden in all the details here. So very nice. And then the bat logo here on his chest looks amazing. It looks kind of metallic or liquidy kind of, I guess you could say. It's not really sharp. It's kind of rounded off, and it just looks awesome. Look at that. It's nice and reflective. Really cool. The belt looks nice. The reds match on the belt and on the logo, so that's good. And the belt is loose. It just kind of floats around, so you can move it around if you need to. And then the sculpting work on the arms, and it kind of keeps the same theme as having like the shiny kind of design and then like matte black under it. Same thing here with the boots. You have some shiny parts and then some matte black parts. But look at that, you got some more technological stuff going on. And then even on the inside of the hands, you have that same theme going. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see that, but check that out. You can see some things like in the palm of the hands. So really cool attention to detail there. And here's a closer look at the 2 head sculpts, and both of these are very well done. The only difference is the facial expression, but all the lines and all the different kind of details are pretty much the same. But I like these two head sculpts a lot. I'm very happy that they gave us two. I do wish that it came with an unmasked Terry McGinnis head. I think that would have been ideal, but it is cool that they gave us these two heads. Check them out. Both of them are very well done. Not sure which one I like more though. I think they're both very cool. On the back you got the same kind of line work and stuff. Very nice work on both of these heads. So overall, I'm extremely happy with this figure. I love what they did with the suit design. I know in the original animated series, he was pretty much just all black with the bat logo and the belt. So I'm not sure if this whole idea of adding these like technological lines is original, because I know that he popped up in comic books in the later years. And I'm not sure if they did that there, but I do like the way it comes across here, and it kind of kills two birds with one stone because it plays into the whole concept of the suit, and it also breaks up some of the costume on this figure, because I know some people complain that Mezco figures look like pajamas because it's just all cloth, but having these detailed lines on there breaks that up. So I'm pretty sure we're not going to hear that complaint with this figure here, and they've gotten pretty good with that stuff. It looks like they're going to be doing that on the upcoming Black Bolt figure and the upcoming Magneto figure. So I think it works really good here, and it looks like it's going to work good on those figures. But yeah, this figure is great, and I really have no big complaints with it other than the blades on the arm. They're a little bit stiff and rigid. I am afraid that I might snap them if I handle the figure too much. Also, I'm afraid that he might fall over and they'll break, so I have to be really careful with how I position him on my shelf so that he doesn't fall over or he doesn't get knocked over by other figures that might fall over. But yeah, other than that, there's no real big flaws with him. I do think that it's kind of unfair that they made him a Comic-Con exclusive, because I know that Batman Beyond is a really popular character, Terry McGinnis is a really popular character, and he has a huge following, and it's kind of unfair that fans of him can't pick this up because he's awesome. He's an amazing figure, and I'm sure that people that love this character are going to be really upset that they can't get him. So I think that he was a poor choice for an exclusive, because this is kind of like an essential version of Batman, or, you know, I'm sure Batman fans want this guy. So they should have made it available for everybody. Punisher made sense because there's 5 other versions out there. So, you know, whatever if you miss it, but it kind of sucks that people can't get Batman Beyond. But I am happy that I have him. I had to go through a war to pick him up at Comic-Con. But I am happy to have him in my hands because he really is a beautiful figure, and I am very happy with it. So I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. I really hope you enjoyed the review, and that's it. Peace.